man, what would be the 101, 202, 303 of health if I really had to break it down? So that's when I went to work, grabbed my pen, started writing. This is what I came up with, y'all. Listen up. So, on the foundational level, on the 101 level, comes down to really three things. If I really, really had to force myself to narrow down, and I'll call it this: cellular detox, meaning taking out the trash, right? Our body taking out the trash. Cellular repair, meaning fixing the damage. And by also taking out the trash, to go back a little bit, taking out the trash in the sense of things that are dead, things that are no longer working, the waste that's no longer serving us. Then cellular repair, fixing things that are broken, that are not working as well. And then cellular nourish, bringing in new material for the cells to use to rebuild, etc. Now, when I say that, I say, okay, what are the three things that help us do all those things? What are the actions? What are the skills? What do we need to learn? At that level, we need to learn how to fast. And the process of fasting serves both cellular detox, cellular repair, and cellular nourishment. We need to learn how to breathe. And we need to learn how to eat or consume. Right? And when I say eat or consume, I'm talking about more than just food through solid food through the mouth. I'm also talking about all the other ways in which we take in energy and matter, such as with the sun, right? So these are some of the things we learn at the foundational level, some of the things we learn. And if you've ever done solid purification juice feast or community fast with me, you know a lot of these things and they'll ring true to you. So we're talking about things like sunbathing, how to take energy from the sun, sun gazing, right? Grounding, how to take energy from the earth, connecting ourselves from the earth. And guys, the picture I want to paint there is that we kind of imagine ourselves or see ourselves as aliens that landed on this earth. What if we're not actually aliens that just appeared on this earth, or souls that took possession of physical bodies here on this earth? What if we actually came of the earth, from the earth? What if like an apple tree comes from an apple comes from an apple tree? What if humans come from the earth? And if we think ourselves that way as plants, right, growing of the earth, then this stuff makes a lot more sense. So in there, it talks about sunbathing, sun gazing, grounding ourselves, dry brushing, so opening up the pores, things like how to sleep, how to recharge ourselves, how to hydrate ourselves, things like journaling, which Stu spoke about, whether it was last time or the time before, right? Extending the ability of our mind by using tools, tongue brushing, supporting our organs of elimination, that detoxing process, and a lot more things on that level. These things, and along many, many other things, help us to, again, detox, take out the trash, cellular repair, and cellular nourishment. And nourishment, by the way, before I move on, I also consider it in terms of hydrating this, giving the cells what it needs, whether that's hydration, whether that's minerals, whether that's other things that it needs to do its job. And when we do this, these are some of the results I've seen, and I'm just going to run through them briefly before moving on to the 202 level. These are some of the results I've seen. And we, by the way, we do all this through a community fasting where we actually feast on the things that are good for us, let go of the things that aren't serving us or are out of balance, out of harmony, and allow our body to heal itself and harmonize and go back into harmony. So these are some of the things, and you can also do this with me multiple times this year. Go to the website, check it out, sign up for it. Dates are already out on the website. And for the rest of the year, I believe, go ahead and sign up for that. So I see an increase in energy, a decrease in body fat, a decrease in body weight, a decrease in cravings for things that we know don't serve us, an increase in focus, decrease in brain fog, an increase in lean muscle mass, a decrease in stress, a decrease in addictive behavior such as consumption of weed, alcohol, pornography, all types of things that don't go up, don't serve us. A break in substance abuse, I see that tremendously, or at least a decrease in abusing of substances. A break in activities that don't serve us. For men, guys, that's things like senseless, I'll say senseless masturbation and things of that nature that actually drain us of our life force. A decrease in anxiety, an increase in being present, an increase in sustainable structures that we put into our life, and mobility, flexibility, and things of that are in our nature. All of that comes, we get all of that from taking the time to focus at that foundational level. And guys, if we don't have that, no way you can move on to 202 level and be successful. No way you can build, if you don't build a firm foundation in your house, how do you expect to have a house that lasts when temptations come, when catastrophe comes, when times of stress comes, when all types of things come and hit? But if you have that foundation set, then you can move on to the next level, where the next level, I believe it's the framing of the house. It's actually putting the structure in place. And that is focusing on things like posture, breath, to a higher level breath. Or I'd actually call it this, or posture, meditation, and movement. So how do we do that? It's things like learning, again, improving. You already learned how to, but improving breathing, foundation. And that's when we get into things like learning how to train properly, learning how to hold. And the way I think about it is, you've got your structure in place. You've got your breath, which fills us with life. And then we take that structure like a picture, right? And we hold different shapes. As we learn to properly hold different shapes in our structure and learn to actually be present in that structure, we can then speed it up and add structures in different positions and that create movement, just like multiple pictures create film. From that perspective, from at that point, you're looking at things like core strength, core shapes, lifting, potentially running at that point, potentially simple survival mechanisms, so simple survival movements or simple survival activities and things that is actually we're designed to do. So that's what I call the 202 level, is really connecting the mind, body, spirit complex as one unit. Now that's a lot deeper than it may sound, and it takes a lot of practice. This is where you see, to give you an example, this is where you see, for example, like Qigong or Tai Chi practice or yoga practice or meditation practice. This is where you see that stuff come into play. It's all about mind-body connection and really getting foundation is set. Now we put the structure in place. Finally, when you're putting that all into place, then you can jump to the 303 level or the advanced level, where now it's all about play, right? You're putting the final touches on and you're learning it's about sport, physique, and play. See, a lot of people want to jump to physique, but they haven't taken care of their foundation, nor do they know how to move. A lot of people want to jump to sport, but they haven't taken care of the foundation, nor do they know how to move. So what will happen? They'll get injured over time. We all see it. Then they're forced to come back to the 101 level, right? 80% of our time is really should be spent at that 101 level. Because when we built that, it accelerates us through the others easily. But when we don't have that in place and we're trying to achieve that high level of play, high level of physique of, by the way, we need to also ask ourselves, what exactly are we calling that? Where do we get these ideas of what those things should actually look like before we start chasing them? But when you take care of that foundation level, what's interesting is that your body tells you what your physique should look like. Your body tells you what movements feel good and don't feel good. It no longer comes from outside, whether it's media influence, whether it's some sort of other influence. It no longer comes from there. It comes from internal. Your physique is determined for you. Ooh-wee. You're in for a treat.
We're going to be talking about health 101, 202, 303.
If you hop into one of these fast, almost everything fixes itself.
Is there an age that you should start kids in like learning about the 101 side of things.
An apple comes from a natural apple tree. What if humans come from the earth?
If that food is in front of you, you will eat it. I never thought about the psychological impacts behind encouraging kids to not trust what their stomach is telling them.
Most of these things are not going to be taught in an institution.
There are so many psychological ramifications for making a kid do something that they don't want to do.
How many times do we see athletes who are succeeding in spite of their nutrition?
What would be your recommendations on like actually making this happen within the education system?
Take your kids out of school and never put them back.
That is the advice that we would all give, I think.
Welcome to the Good Life.